You, yo,
You?
yo, bro, you got tissue?
Huh?
Tissue.
Yo, bro, you been out the country before, so you already know what it is, man. You know, you can't flush the tissue down the toilet. So what happened is you start throwing it in the trash, then the room start having a little odor to it. Eventually, if you smart, you know, you're gonna hop in the shower right after. That's the vibe I'm giving here, you feel me? So that white rag,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the guest rag, bro.
Alright, bro, copy.
I ain't wasting money on no tissue, bro. I could spoil it over here. Not knowing water's cleaner than tissue. Anyway,
Lord, that's how you made me in my heavens. I know I did some dirt and I ain't innocent. In isolation as I reminisce. The real reason you niggas switch. It was all about the Benjamin. It's up.
hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another one, K74. You already know what up. First and foremost, I just want to let y'all know that I'm grateful and honored and blessed to be here giving y'all another video. What this is going to be about, as you can see in the title, it says read between the lines. Pretty much what that means and the terms and the language now, where probably the younger generation can understand, is basically reading the room. It's the same concept. For those that don't know what that means, it's pretty much being able to pick up on a certain type of energy when someone is trying to, let's say, finesse you or swindle you. That's pretty much what that comes down to. Reading the room. A lot of people, for instance, will pretty much claim that they are for you. You know what I mean? And this is more so in the care and concern field, because that's pretty much what triggered me to do this video. Was a conversation that I was having with a loved one, and you know, as I was talking to them, I started talking about a specific story that underlined that type of behavior, which I'm going to share with you guys in a minute here. But first, I just wanted to get across what reading between the lines is, so everybody can understand what that is. So, you know, now that we got that established on what reading between the lines is, you have to be aware that, like I said, people will come claiming that they are for you, but they are really not. Like I said, I talked to this family member, and I told him the story, and you know, it triggered me to do this video. Like I told you guys in the beginning that I will be doing videos consistently, you know, and I know the videos haven't been dropping how they was in the beginning. But notice in the beginning I told you guys that I will be consistent, but I never gave you guys a specific time frame saying like look out for me 2 days a week, 3 days a week, you know, because I know the way my life is that, you know, I can get to this when I have time, and I got to handle more important things that I have to handle in order to keep this going. Guys, don't ever get it twisted. You know, consistency is at your pace. As long as you keeping going, you know, go at your pace. If you can speed it up sometimes, speed it up. If you gotta slow it down, slow it down. In the beginning, you know, I was dropping a lot of videos for the simple fact I was still learning how to work everything. Once I felt like I pretty much, you know, got the gist of the whole setup that I have and know how to work it, like I kind of got that down pat, so I could slow down and focus my attention on other things. So as far as the story and reading between the lines, for a prime example, so pretty much I got out in 2019. I had a couple parole officers, and you know what I mean? And for those that don't know, that parole officers are there to actually help get you back on your feet and transition back properly into society. In New York City, you know, the relationships between parolees and some parole officers is hit or miss, and a lot of times it's miss. You know, this is a city that's very populated. You know, they deal with so many parolees in and out. You kind of put everybody in the same category until you, I guess, see something different. So pretty much I came home on parole. I had a couple POs. I had 3 POs to be exact. The first one was an older black lady who wasn't bad. The second one was a younger black woman. We bumped heads for the simple fact she wanted me to do a program, while, I only had 2 years of parole. She wanted me to do a program, but I told her I'm working. You feel me? Like, I got a full-time job. That's one of my main stipulations to obtain employment in my own place. So I got my job out the way. I'm living with my relative. So, I'm just trying to, get on my feet and get out that person's house. That's my main goal. But she consists, every time I go see her, she's, oh, you didn't go to the program? You didn't do the intake yet? You didn't? I'm like, nah, I'm working. But in my head, I'm like, you know what? I'm ready to get violated because I'd rather get to this bag and get on my feet than, pretty much stop what I'm doing to take time out to go to the program. And this goes back to reading between the lines. And I had to read it on my own because, like I said, she was younger, had something to prove. And she's just going off of what she was told to do because they contracted with certain programs. You go to the program, they make money off of you. Do they really care if you get the help you need? Who knows? You know what I mean? But I just know they know, just like I know, if you don't get the help you need, you can always come back because we got the funding for it, and that's how it goes. So pretty much, I'm like, I didn't want to be handled like that. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, I've been through this. I know how the system is. And, you learn from the OGs what's really going on. So I'm like, yo, you know what? Nah, I got to make my bread. Y'all done made, y'all made enough bread off of me. It's time for me to make my bread. You feel me? Legally, doing everything the right way. Long story short, they out of nowhere, they just, they switched me over again. This time to a younger white lady, and her supervisor was also white, a little older, mid-age. So there, they told me, they said, yo, we see you working. We see, the supervisor actually was like, you doing what you got to do. I see they want you, I see they want you to go to the program, but listen, you don't have to go. You know what I mean? You don't give me no dirty urines or anything like that, or any problems. You're free to just work and do what you got to do. And I'm like, okay, I respect that. I had 2 years. I wound up getting off a year early because I maintained employment and wound up getting my own place in less than a year. And this is what happened when you just, like, leave me alone. You feel me? Like, and I had to read between the lines to understand, like, yo, you know what? Yeah, you would think this black woman, my sister, would be on my side. You feel me? And would understand that, yo, he trying. Let me ease off of him. You feel me? Like, let me just let him breathe. But nah, that wasn't the case. And I found myself stressing out. Even going to work, trying to do what I got to do. You know what I mean? I'm like, and you shouldn't, I feel like if I was a parole officer, like, I would do like they did with me, the 2 white ladies did. You know what I mean? If I see a parolee doing what they doing, they not giving me dirty urines, they did. On time, like every time curfew, he doing overtime, going above and beyond, and I'm helping the elderly. You feel me? Like I'm doing real life care and concern work from the heart. Got up every day knowing that I'm helping somebody in need, making the bare minimum. You know what I mean? Making peanuts some weeks. I'm like, yo, what am I doing this for? Sometimes making $300 checks. You know what I mean? A week. And still getting up, doing what I had to do, because I knew people people needed me, my job needed me, and it wasn't never me trying to look to see how I could make money off another person that was in my profession or anything like that. You know what I mean? I always was like, yo, I know my job is to make sure these patients is safe and getting where they need to go safe. You know what I mean? So, I don't want to hold y'all up too long. That's just a little quick example on what I'm saying, read between the lines. And in that situation, I had to read between the lines and take my time to understand what was going on and move accordingly. And the outcome came out perfect. 2019 to now, I've been home, traveled the country, seen things I never thought I would see, went to other new countries that I've never been before, and, able to, do things that I want to do. I'm still free and still living that still on the righteous path, and I'm able to do the things that I always wanted to do, the things that gave me the drive that led me in some of the criminal behaviors that I did was just to get, things that's going to help me fulfill dreams I always wanted, but I had to be patient, and I've been patient, and here I am learning and building like I always wanted to do, but I just had to be patient and get things the right way. So I'm able to present my art and my creativity to you guys, because that's what it was really all about. You know what I mean? I never really cared about money or whatever, because I already know that, I'm from New York City. Like, money is like, you going to get that. You learn how to get that. You know what I'm saying? So, but I had to learn other things, that some levels that I skipped, that I'm glad that the Most High was able to let me go back and take these steps and really look at things and read between the lines. And with that, with all that, no matter what happened, I always kept my dignity and, most importantly, integrity. So for those out there, this is how I want to end it, man. Just always remember to be stand up, even when nobody's watching, because 9 times out of 10, there's always somebody watching. But like I said, when you in your, by yourself or whatever, and you think nobody watching, don't use that time to, abuse anybody. You know what I mean? Harm yourself still, whatever the case, just because you think you're getting away with it. You know what I mean? Be stand up all the way around the board, even if nobody watching. With that being said, we out, K74.